So, people want to know, am I really a comic? And am I here like to make you laugh? Because I think most people think comics are here to make them laugh. But if you look at George Carlin, the famous comic, um, he really was um, more about getting people to understand what's going on. It's like you use the word comic, and then the idea is that it's going to help people relax so that they can laugh. And if you're a comic, it's like a comic strip, so you're being like using like literary methods like satire and irony and things like this in order to entertain people. So, the idea of comic is, it's someone who's going to entertain you. But George Carlin wasn't entertaining you, was he? Like, if you watch George Carlin, doesn't he talk about how fucked up things were with Richard Nixon, President Nixon? Didn't he tell you about all this stuff that was going on? So he did educate you. And people were throwing tomatoes at George Carlin, saying, George, get off the stage, you're lying to us. Everybody, if they were laughing, it's like, George is telling the truth. I mean, we're really being used by... So, if you want to watch Carlin, and then turn it off, and then tomorrow just, go back to your usual routine, then you miss the point of George Carlin. Because is it simply because he needed a paycheck that he was going to talk about these things? Or was he trying to get you to be a little bit more educated about the way the world is? And wasn't he part of that sort of hippie generation that was like, we are going to change the world? We are going to change the world. A huge movement to change the world from the wicked old men like Richard Nixon. And the hippies, they were the young people smoking weed and what have you. The flower children, if they were going to talk to their conservative parents about making change and being the change, wouldn't they want somebody who could talk to the parents like George Carlin could? So I'm not really a comic, just so you know. I can go up and sometimes I can tell some interesting one-liners, but as that kind of a stand-up comic, no, not really. Mostly what I put down comic as what I am, it's just because I gotta have something to put on, like a resume or something. What did you do this time? Well, I was a contact for people to get information from, and the good information that they got from me, they used to build a massive community. And the community was about making things better. So, it is part of my life goal to change planet Earth. And we also know that once some of your campaign goals have been achieved, then you got to find new goals. So you can never sit on your laurels and say, I was part of that campaign of, the hippies. And then, I just felt like I should pass it on to the next generation. And, I'm just going to sit in my easy chair here and watch football. No, George Carlin would say, no, that's not my message. My message is not about that. My message is about you all got this shit going on, and it's affecting all of you all here in my audience. And you paid good money to come and listen to George. Never mind how much money you paid. The point is not only entertainment, but it's education. and educating all of the audience that, there's a lot more of you than the people who are oppressing you, believe it or not. There are way more of you. That's why they call them the 1%. It's 1% versus 99. There's way more of you than them. And they are not going to just step down. You are going to have to be like them. One time, J.R. Ewing from the famous TV show Dallas, he was talking to his brother about business. And they were talking about, well, basically J.R. said, power is not given to you. Power is taken. That's J.R. Ewing, played by Larry Hagman. And that was the way that he played. And that was what Hollywood wanted us to understand about big capitalists, is that they're not afraid to take power, and they will take power, and that's how they got power. They took it. It wasn't bestowed upon them because they were the worthy one.